Today, we've travelled down from the northeast and we're on the way to Nottinghamshire to meet up with one of the UK-based experts that's going to be helping me out for the year ahead. His name's Adam Ward. He is a Feldenkrais practitioner, amongst other things, and he's going to be doing some work with me today to help me get my body aligned, to help the quality of movement that I'm going to be able to produce to become the best it can be before I start all this training. It's going to be an ongoing process through the year. I will be going down every few weeks to see Adam, to do some work with him on top of Feldenkrais practice that I'll be doing by myself at home. And yeah, the work that I'm doing with him is to upgrade my efficiency of movement. Basically, if you look at any top class athlete, not only are they strong and fast, agile and all the other things that an athlete will be, but they're graceful. Since the game last week, I have started to watch a lot of footage. I've started to compile a big library of footage of the players that I'm going to be looking at through the year, and in the last 48 hours I must have watched at least 10-12 hours of footage. My eyes are burning, but I'm starting to get a feel for some of the things that I'm going to be looking at very closely over the year.
Oh, hi Adam.
Hello, Adam.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Good journey?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
Come on in.
Cheers.
I'll just they're both off. I'm Adam Ward and I run a business called One With Nature. To some degree I'm self-styled. I teach yoga and I'm a practicing yogi. I'm also a masseur, remedial masseur, and a manipulative therapist. So I deal with people's bodies, their muscular system, etc., as well as stretching their bodies and keeping that in good condition from the yoga point of view. And then obviously with the yoga, or maybe not quite so obviously, I work with people's breathing, the way that they relate to their own minds and their consciousness. And I've worked with people many years with these two mediums, and then I took on studying the Feldenkrais method, which is principally what we're using with Arten and our mission for the Beautiful Aim. The Feldenkrais method I studied for 4 years in Europe. I continue to study now and will for many years, and I've been a practitioner of the Feldenkrais for a number of years now. And that's what we'll be using in the main with Arten, although we'll use the own method, the One With Nature method, to some degree if I can see there's an area we can help him think more clearly or gain a greater balance through another one of my disciplines, then I'll add that in, but majority work Feldenkrais. Okay, left, close your right, miles away.
Miles away.
Okay.
Absolutely miles.
So your right eye dominance, which I just want to make a note of.
That's really weird. That's the side that I guessed.
The Feldenkrais method works on the neuroplasticity of the mind and the ability of a mind to grow in whichever direction it chooses. With the Feldenkrais we take a view of the human being as the brain and the body being one and the same thing, rather than the whole thing being split up. So whatever you do to the body is going to have an effect on the brain, whatever you do to the brain is going to have an effect on the body. A lot of people learn to move in a way that I suppose you'd describe as random. We copy our peers and the people around us, our parents, etc. It'd be very difficult to divide which is a genetic movement in a person and which is a copied and learned movement in a person, because we're we're all infectious sponges, we're copying each other all the time. With the Feldenkrais, we'll take a person out of gravity as best we can, i.e. lie them down in many circumstances, and then we'll look at their movement in fine detail and very gently, so that a person is able to differentiate one movement from another and look at a whole series of movements rather than just discovering one movement as a child may and then repeating, well, that'll do, and then repeat the movement over and over. So we actually increase a person's repertoire of movement incredibly, really. So at the end of working with Feldenkrais over an extended period, it would be the difference between somebody that's learnt a basic form of English and somebody that's actually gone and studied the language and its structure and followed a proper course of learning. The vocabulary of movement would be thus different between somebody that's done the Feldenkrais and somebody that hasn't. Alright then, so let's just have a look at your general movement. Have a look over your shoulder. Okay, and then come back. And the other way. Okay, come back. And then leave your shoulders and the rest of your body still and just move your head. Okay, and then the other way. Okay. Good. Alright. So have another walk around, just walk around the room. When I met Arten and he told me of his goal, I was very impressed for him, very pleased that somebody's actually taken up the baton to really get what they want to get out of their life. He seems very determined. I've never known him before this, this last month or so, and obviously I hope that he succeeds in what he's doing. Don't know whether he's given himself a very short space of time to achieve this, and whether biologically he can turn round that quickly. We'll have to see, but I have confidence in him, and I've confidence in what we're doing, and since he's willing to put the time in, then and I think he's going to have quite a few other people that will help him. Let's see if it can be done. The session today, always interesting, always fascinates me working with the Feldenkrais anyway. It's taken me a little bit of time to get to know Arten's body and how he organises the whole thing without making assumptions. So to choose the correct lessons for him takes a little bit of time. So I got some ideas today to start with. So half the session has been about implementing those ideas, which have worked very well, and the other half of the session was about me learning the outcome of those ideas, and now in my mind I'm thinking what we're going to do next, and I'll have to sit quietly and think about that. I think the session went pretty well. It was interesting. It's given us a firm foundation for him to get some work done at a distance now for a week or two, so it's bought a little bit of time. We'll go from there.
The day went well. My body feels very different now to how it did at the beginning of the day. I know I've done a little bit of Feldenkrais before. I know that tomorrow I'll be able to feel even more effective what's going on today. So I'm looking forward to finding out how that does feel in my body, the kind of longer term effects that it's had, and taking that forward into the next few days as well. It should be interesting, and I'm quite excited about this being the first of many times of coming down here to get my body moving efficiently. So the first of many, very important one, and yeah, can't wait to see how I feel tomorrow.